counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Diffuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Used to lose, built to win, applied myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win, applied myself.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of FFC. I'm your host, Coach, and we are here. Week 9 is in the bag, right? We are pretty much halfway through this beautiful season. It's breaking my heart. Why football season got to be so short? Why? Because we have to understand it's a physical sport. It's a physical game. And it's, you can't have these players playing. I get it. You just can't have them playing too long because it takes a toll on the body. We got a lot of CTC issues walking around right now, not even in pads. So I get it. But man, it's just so sad because I love the sport so much. Don't get me wrong. We got basketball loading up, looking good already. But, just football season to me, it's a perfect length, and it's too short at the same time because I'm just gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it. But anyway, we are here. It's not over yet. Week 9 happened, and might I say, some ugly games. Week 9 has some ugly games, right? Even the I don't know. I really didn't care for the Chiefs-Dolphins game. Like, I thought it would have been a better game. But who else had a game? I was right about the Raiders. I'll take that one. I take the Raiders one. Let me see here. All right, so what do we have for week 9? Well, unfortunately, where's the tune? We have 2 members we are adding to Coach's Couch. Yeah, that's the segment we're going to start off with first, man. We're going to start it off so we can get it on out. But we got 2 guys we got to add to the list, and that's Daniel Jones and Cam Akers. Cam Akers. And what's funny? He came into Minnesota. He was looking pretty good for Minnesota. And then, this really sucks. It's like the Minnesota just lost another player to a season-long injury because Kirk out here with us now, So welcome, guys. Ugly situation in week 9, man. Like week 9 itself, it's I feel bad, man. I really do, because the Giants don't have anything as it is. I mean, yeah, I get it. They're losing their quarterback, but it wasn't like he was much of any help. The receivers aren't good. I don't know, but then Tyrod Taylor can come in the games and look a little different. It look like he's giving the players some type of hope. I don't know. Maybe Dabo is overrated. Maybe the defense, or maybe the offense just needs more pieces. Maybe the offensive line needs fixing. There are so many issues to point to on the New York Giants that I still think the Daniel Jones injury might still be a real big blow. And why? Because it's a draft pick that you paid that hasn't done anything really for you, and now he's out for a year. And you know what? You're going to draft a quarterback in the draft. That's obvious. So now you have all this money that's pretty much going to be a backup. So it's one of those sticky situations when your quarterback gets hurt after he gets paid. So ask Kyler Murray. He luckily just gets his job back though, because obviously Josh Dobbs is needed elsewhere. And they don't really care for the rookie, I think. I don't know if they don't care for him, but I mean, they gave all that money to Kyler Murray. It's not like you could just keep him off. And who's traded for Kyler Murray. Okay. So you got to empty out your assets, and basically here comes Kyler Murray to play. So hopefully I think their matchup this week actually allows Kyler Murray to have a good game. I actually have him having a good game. Hell, I have him dropping 33 points in fantasy. Where is it at?
Stop it. Get some help.
Coach had to ring himself. But so I do want to point out one thing. So right now we're gonna go ahead and might as well jump into our next segment, which is talk to coach, because we're gonna just keep that segment going. Even though I'm going through my other segments, because during this time it's just basically, you got any players, you got any situations you want to air out, you got any things you want to talk about per leagues, per teams, per players, good, bad. This time, talk to coach. We hash it out. We discuss it. For me, it's the locker room. I want to talk about the locker room real quick of the Oakland Raiders. Okay. So a lot of people saw the video. Let me see if I can clip it real quick. Let me see if I can pull it. I want to see. I think I have it on my Instagram. I just want to see if I can share it though. Y'all gonna experiment with Coach, because Coach ain't done too much of that editing on here. I'm trying to learn, but as I go. But we'll see. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can pull it in. No, I think I have to have it saved. Ah, well. Anyway, I can talk about it though. Can I play it and you guys can hear it? No, it doesn't matter. So it's just basically the players are basically in the locker room for the Raiders, right? And they're basically just almost like it's like they're having a party, right? Share. Let me see if I can share the screen that I have up. Let's see. Well, first of all, where's my screen? There you are. All right, let me see. No, Coach ain't ready for all that. Anyway, so basically the video is the Raiders are in the locker room after the win, and they're basically celebrating. Okay, they're basically in there showing out, right? And some people don't care for the video, I don't know if they feel like it's bad taste. For me, I like it. So here's what we know about the Raiders thus far. Josh McDaniels came in there and tried to turn the boys into the Patriots. They're not the Patriots. Josh McDaniels got pulled into a meeting by players and staff, and he pretty much got berated by his. Sorry about that. It's the new puppy. You okay? Is that your sneezings? All right, so they pretty much called him into an office and basically berated him, about the things they don't like, about the things they want changed. I.e., I'm pretty sure most of it was like, stop starting Jimmy Garoppolo. Right? So, I don't trust you. So, he doesn't even speak to the player. He doesn't even speak to the people, right? He tells Antonio Pierce, the defensive coordinator, who everybody loves, to speak on his behalf. So you don't even know how to speak to your players? Well, I don't find that far-fetched. I've never known him to be a player coach. I just know he's a play caller. Most play callers aren't player coaches. They only see X's and O's. Just go ask John Gruden. Just go ask Sean McVay. But anyway, you don't speak to the players. You have your defensive coordinator do it. And what does he bring up? Well, do you not remember the same guy that whipped your ass in the Super Bowl? One thing people forget, players who turn into coaches are some of the best. They really are. Look at DeMeco Ryans. Look at Antonio Pierce in one game. Look at Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, who's a player who played on the other side of the ball with Josh McDaniels, has a better head coaching career than Josh McDaniels, who's been an assistant coordinator with one team his entire career and has winning records, but not as a head coach. Just saying. So they call he makes a statement and brings up of course, what other example does he have except for the Patriots winning or the Giants having and starting off a bad record, right? Ending the season 9-7, right? No. Ending the season 9-7, making it to the playoffs on the road the entire time in the playoffs, to go to the Super Bowl and beat the undefeated Patriots. And then now that's the inspiration he can only dream to think of to inspire players who are literally after you. He's trying to drive the motivation into we are in a place where we can still get this done. And yeah, I get the example. Wasn't your best moment. But then you turn around and say, don't you dare talk about the Patriots like that again? Like, what? Then you get fired after another horrible loss. Just to come in and have Davante Adams, who has been the quietest, but outspoken player thus far, come out in full support of this coach. You want to know? Davante Adams had a crappy game again, but the Raiders won, and he was happy in the locker room, standing next to the coach, as if he was the assistant coach with yeah, smile on his face, excited. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's about how they win. It's about how they want the culture to be, and the culture under Josh McDaniels was not a good one. Then you have Hunter Renfrow, of all people, come out and literally say no one no longer has to walk on eggshells. What you got to come out and talk for? But he did. And that speaks volume when a non-targeted player comes out and has something to say. Josh Jacobs had a big day, which was great. The defense had an amazing day, which was outstanding. The Raiders are now under a new regime, and they're going to continue that regime. What that locker room scene statement was Raiders are here and the Raiders are going to stay. That's all that meant was. Like, literally, they're going to disappoint teams moving forward. Garoppolo was done. Only time he's coming back in a football game is if that rookie gets hurt. That's it. Ain't no other time they're going to play Garoppolo. He's done. His Raiders stream is over. Over. Okay? Will Levis. I really appreciate how they addressed what they're doing. Look, it's week. We're done with week 9. We're going into week 10. The season's almost over. The statement was, Tannehill will serve. I want to make sure I say it right way. Tannehill will serve as the backup for Levis for the remainder of the season. Bro, you lost the job. You lost the job to the rookie because DeAndre Hopkins don't want you in the game. DeAndre Hopkins wants Will Levis. When DeAndre Hopkins likes his quarterback, That's the quarterback that comes in the game. I'm just so sorry about that, bro. Tannehill, yeah, one job. Throw the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. You couldn't do it. And it makes me question your 4,000 yards, yet you couldn't get it to A.J. Brown. That I got to question that, see? But because, I mean, he ain't got a problem getting the ball in Philly. No problem at all. So, but anyway, Will Levis will continue to play the quarterback position. And what I like about it is he learned, he's starting, he'll have his days, he'll have a bad game or so, but he'll learn. And I think we understand that he will be the starter next season. He's impressed the staff. He's impressed DeAndre Hopkins. That's what they want. You know what I mean? So, yeah, again, look, he's serving as the backup. Tannehill's time is done. What up, River Wayne? What up? How you doing? Hey, this is right now we're doing Talk to Coach. So if you have any grievances of players, if you have any player you want to talk about, exciting, if you got anybody on IR, you're excited that's coming back, this is the time where we're just talking. I just got through talking about, the Raiders clip of the players in the locker room, smoking cigars, having a good time. And my point was the Raiders are just telling the entire world the Raiders are back and the Raiders are here. They're happy. They love the new regime. I am on the biggest hopes that Antonio Pierce. You got to understand, I'm a Patriots guy. Okay, Tom Brady is my guy. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? And this is the defense that took me out twice. Now he wasn't a part of the second one, but he was a part of the undefeated one. I pray to the utmost of football gods Antonio Pierce wins out this season and is a head coach and is named the full-time head coach next season. He is what the Raiders need. He was a giant, but he was blowing the rate. He's blowing the rate. This is what they need. They need this kind of energy. You have to understand, you got to understand, they won the game. And I told you guys last week, this is exactly what was going to happen. But I thought Devontae would have more of that, but it was all Josh Jacobs, which is fine. Y'all see Devontae Adams with Pierce talking at the end of the game? He on the side standing next to him like he the assistant. Yeah, just co-signing everything he said. He's happy. Did he have a big game? No, but he's happy now in Las Vegas, which means they are going to come. It might even be this week. They just ended up having a great game on the run, a great game on the ground, and that is what they did. They just pushed that. And they had that defense is coming. That defense coming. What I mean is, that division might take a turn here in these next 9 weeks. I'm excited to see what these Raiders do. Okay. And as for Will Levis, like I said, I was talking about how I loved how the Titans came out and said, Ryan Tannehill will serve as the backup for the remainder of the season. And Will Levis backup for the remainder of the season. I love that statement because what they're saying is Tannehill is not playing good right now. We're going with the rookie. He had a great game. They can deny all that crap they want. I'm going to tell you what it is. Like I said before, DeAndre Hopkins is happy with Will Levis. Will Levis is going to stay as a quarterback, period. He's not happy with Tannehill. Tannehill ain't getting back in the game. Garoppolo will never see another football field. I'm sorry. What this whole Raiders situation, it destroyed Garoppolo's image. I really think it did. Josh McDaniels destroyed it, and himself. Because the saddest part is, if he crawls his ass back to New England, yeah, he's done. His best hope right now, go to college. Go be a college coach. Because right now you can't go back to New England because you're going to be a joke. You're going to go tuck yourself and hide behind Bill? Come on, bro. You cannot do that to yourself. I'm going to clown every part of your life if it ever happens. Matt Patricia is about on the verge of that. I just haven't said nothing to him because they got so many other problems on that team. I don't care for Matt Patricia right now. But you go over there, it's a pony show now. It definitely is a pony show. I think Adams will pop off soon with the energy he's putting out. Yeah, he's happy. He's completely happy with with the new regime, with the new order of the Raiders. Like it's just the energy is what they want. Again, he came out and made his statement. I can't remember exactly what his words were for his statement, but it was Hunter Renfro's statement that really got me. When you can come out again, you barely even targeted in game. And maybe that's why you said something. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't like that. So the fact that now you know the changes here, you come out as Hunter Renfro and say, nobody has to walk on eggshells anymore. That's what the locker room scene was. No more eggshells. That's all that was. It wasn't them celebrating because of the one win. They won games this season. You know what I mean? That just what it was they won their way. They won as Raiders. That's all that locker room scene was. It wasn't to brag. It wasn't to make it seem like they going to the Super Bowl, which it ain't far-fetched, i.e. Antonio Pierce did it. Just saying. But what I'm saying is, let me see. You want me to throw it? We got a new dog. Her name is Lucy. Let me see. No, you want me to throw it? Okay. So, hang it. Go get it. Ready. Go get it. So anyway, I think all it means is they're ready to be contenders against teams every week. What you just got from the Raiders this week is something I think is what they're trying to say is we're here. Like Raiders football is back, baby. You know, I think that's all it is. It was nothing about anything is possible. Like, it's not like that's not what we do here. You know what I mean? No, it was these boys are just happy to be themselves in their locker room. Okay, that's all it is, man. That's all it was. Let me see what else we got for Talk to Coach. Let me see what other news do I have, or anything that kind of I guess like stuck out to me. Let me see. Before we get into our fantasy recaps, yeah. Hopefully I can hear this. Let me see if I can get some volume on this. It won't let me do it. It won't let me do it. Dang it. Okay, so I'm watching this. I'm watching this skit. What if you guys can hear it? So I hope you guys heard that. If you didn't hear that, I'll talk it back. Basically, Matthew Berry. I love Matthew Berry so much. God, I love this guy. If you want to know somebody knows football, it's Matthew Berry. Okay. So he's talking on this podcast with his fellow members, and they're basically talking about what's going on. So he this is what he wrote. If you heard what he talked about as well. In a large that devalues running backs, Falcons used the 8th overall pick on Bijan Robinson. Bijan has just 25 touches his past 3 games, 2 or fewer receptions in 3 straight. Algier has out-touched Bijan 26-12 in the red zone this year, either in draft or now ATL is making a major miscalculation. So basically, it's like I told you guys, if you watched this show before the season started, when I was doing my rankings, I said you draft Bijan Robinson that high, good luck. I said the problem with that, even if Bijan is that good, because the Falcons are horrible. People are forgetting. Everybody talk about, oh no, Falcons going to the playoffs. What playoffs? I want to see it. I have bet Ty $100. I will pay him $100 if Atlanta makes it into the playoffs. I'm paying to see this. You understand what I'm telling you? Because that ain't gonna happen. And now you got issues. You already got issues where you don't know how to use Kyle Pitts at all, and then you won't trade him, right? So you just drafted this young kid and his talents to just basically throw him in the trash. Okay. I have never had a problem with Kyle Pitts' talents. I want to come here and say this as much as I can. It has never been about that kid's talent. I have always said he should have never been drafted to the Atlanta Falcons because they did not need him. They had so many other problems and issues on that team that Kyle Pitts was nowhere near needed for what they needed to fix. So it's never anything about his ability for me with Kyle Pitts. It's the fact that he should have never been a Falcon. Now, here we are with Bijan Robinson. Again, they have no defense. They have no offensive line. They don't have a quarterback. They barely have a receiver. And you go out and you draft a running back high with nothing protecting him, meaning if he can't do it on his own, he ain't going to be able to get you nothing. If they win 6 games, it's only because of Bijan Robinson and he got you 1,200 yards off the season. Where we at now? It ain't looking too hot, is it? Because that's a lot to put on one player when you have nothing else. You know what I'm putting? 11 people in the box. I dare that kid to keep running. You thought because the first 4 weeks of the season he looked great that was supposed to mean something? The first 4 weeks of the season where defenses are basically still in preseason mode, you thought that was supposed to mean something? I told y'all he was going to go off in the first 4 weeks. I literally said that. I said it's not going to sustain in the season, period. Here we are. Bijan Robinson is getting out-touched by Algier in the red zone. Come on, bro. Like, I've had a lot of respect for Arthur Smith in that organization, but as of late, they have not made very good draft decisions. I agree with Matthew Berry. Like, their drafting decisions have not been good at all. And here we are. Here are the Falcons. They lost to a guy, like he said, he hasn't been there. He's only been there for 3 days. Not but 3 days he's been with the Minnesota Vikings, and he beats you. He does not even know the names of his offensive linemen, and he beats you. What? Come on, Falcons. But y'all drafted Bijan Robinson. That was important, huh? Well, y'all were losing fans. Y'all need to put asses in the seats. You thought this exciting kid was going to do that for that black community, and you pretty much put another shaft in Atlanta yet again. Call it how I see it. So something definitely needs to change in Atlanta. Somebody needs to get fired, or somebody needs to pull something from somebody because this is getting bad. Let's see. Oh, we got some chat. Let's see. River Wayne, what we got? What do you think of my trade? What trade was it again? Oh, here it is. Here it is. I just traded Diggs for Chase and Kayla. Yeah, good job. You got 2 for 1. Anytime you can get a 2 for 1 and get rid of Buddy before it get cold outside. Oh, y'all don't think I was going to say that? Come on, guys. It's coach's show. Stephon Diggs can't catch in the cold. I'm not going to change my mind on that. Not until he showed me he can. Not until the Bills stop showing me how fluky they are. So, yes, I definitely like that trade because you got a receiver who can catch in the cold, and you got K9. Absolutely. You got 2 for 1. Good job. Whoever took that Diggs was good trade. And Case and K9 both bye week free. So you just stole it. So you got a You got a fourth for one, basically. Okay, you got two players off of one. Both of them no longer dealing with bye weeks. I mean, if you ain't played that system perfect, and you got dude who still got to deal with the Bills, got to have a bye week. That's cold-blooded, bro. I want to be in your league. Somebody in y'all look like y'all know what y'all doing, except for Buddy with that dig. But yeah, I like this league. This is a little cutthroat. I like that. You thought about this. You played the long haul. You played the long game. And I talk about that on my show. Playing the long game. I feel bad for Danny. Danny took his L against Buddha. His first L. He might take a second one this week. The bye week fiascos are ugly. He was undefeated, and then bye weeks hit, and now all his players are on bye weeks. It's about to get real ugly for him. He might lose 2 in a row, win, lose another one, and then he'll be fine. Or he might lose 3 in a row. Like, his bye week fiasco get real ugly. Who was your waiver pick? But week 13 bye 2. Yeah. I think Diggs got that late week 13 bye. So good job. That's a good job. All right, let me see if there was any more news or anything I wanted to bring up. Because Bijan. Sorry, on Bijan owners. I don't know when and what and how things are going to change. But it's not going to be fun for you guys for a while. Sorry. All right. So let us take a commercial break real quick, guys. I'm going to get me some water real quick. And when we get back, we're going to get into our fantasy bus and our fantasy heroes. All right. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Yo, my name is Lambo Anlo.
This is Dimitri.
This is Ed Hahn.
My name is Daryl Julian, and this is
Refuse to lose sports.
Refuse to lose sports.
Refuse to Lose Sports.
Refuse to lose sports.
Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we live in different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah, no time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah, refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah, no time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm ready to win. Yeah, refuse.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's see. And we are now going to our next segment, which is our yes, sweetie, what you need? I'm almost done. You want a pat? I'll scratch. All right, so we have some fantasy busts we have to discuss, of course. Let's see here. Let's check out this comment real quick. I got Puka, A-Chain, and Anthony Richardson off waiver and traded them all for AJB. Nice. ETN in week 4. And AJB was slumming and they were all healthy. Good job. Yeah, you played a long game. You good job. You know how to keep your roster afloat through trades, through waivers. My bad. Yeah, man, I like this league. I want to. I'm next year. Coach is going to get into some tough leagues. I'm trying to do a 16 team league. I'm going to do a dynasty league, and I'm going to do. I know I don't want to do a best ball. I got a few hard ones I want to try to do myself next year. Let me see. You think Waddle, Kenneth Wallet, Jerome Ford for Eckler and T. Higgins is a good trade. Waddle, Kenneth Walker, and Jerome Ford. 3 for 2. See, I like Higgins because him and Burrow are really going to start popping off. I don't like Eckler because their schedule, I don't think it's easier. But I don't like Kenneth Walker. And Waddle's targets get limited. Yeah, I like the trade because I still think the target value for Eckler and Higgins are a lot higher than all three of Waddle, Kenneth Walker, and Jerome Ford. Absolutely. Jerome Ford is the best of those three. And you're getting two good ones with Higgins and Eckler. So yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I like that trade. Is it fair? Yeah, it's still fair. I mean, he's got three good players. The only difference is with your roster, you are putting limited target value on your roster when you could add more target value to your roster. That's all it is, really. So where Waddle can get you 17, Kenneth can probably get you 10 to 13. Hopefully he gets in the end zone type word thing. Where Jerome can get you 15. You got Higgins who can easily get you that 15 just off PPR alone. And then you have Eckler who could definitely get you 18 because he's the running back who can catch. So that's basically what you're getting for giving up Waddle, Kenneth, and Jerome. Let's see. I take Eckler side. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I take the Eckler side. Probably not, especially if Eckler is his best back. He probably won't. He probably not, especially if you're giving him Kenneth Walker. He's going to look at that. I don't know. He might take it. Because you're giving him Waddle. So, I mean, Tua they throw a lot of touchdowns, and outside of the bad game they had, they throw a lot of touchdowns. So yeah, it's I think he would accept it. He might have a counter, and you may have to accept the counter depending on which one of those players you really want. I would say it that way too. 12-man PPR, Mahomes, Murray, Chase, AJB, London, Cooper, Rice, C. Watson, ETN, Walker. Yeah, make the trade. See if you can make that trade. It'll help your roster, especially because you have Murray. You have Murray and I'd make the trade. I dropped the sub. Okay. No problem. All right, so let us go and talk about the ones that basically let us down this week. Ooh. So at the bottom at number 5, and it sucks because we just got to talk about him. Kenneth Walker, 16 rushing yards, 1 reception, 1 yard, and for 2.7 points. And here's the thing. I told you guys about Kenneth Walker this year. I had a good year last year. I just wasn't really sold on it this year. I'm not sure why I wasn't. And maybe it's because when I saw them draft Zach Cabernet, I was like, oh, why would they do? Maybe it's things like that that kind of tear me away from other things. You know what I mean? And it's not like he had a breakout training camp. And I listened to, I remember, guys, I read those types of reports of what's going on with these players in training camp and stuff like that. So it's not like he had it's just, I wasn't really sold on him. I didn't drop him or move him up. I kept him where he was in drafts because I figured for what he can do, that's the best place he would go, right? But yeah, not against these Ravens who are playoff ready. So no, he did not have a good game. And Cooper Kupp, another week, another bad game, to the point that yes, we have big news. We have a big pickup. Carson Wentz is joining the LA Rams, because I guess Matthew Stafford is dealing with yet another injury. So we'll see what happens with because it's not looking good for the Rams receiving core right now as dealing with their quarterback issue. So we'll see what happens. But as Sean McVay can only do, he can only find and plug. So we'll see if the plug worked. But Cooper Kupp had 2 receptions for 48 yards, y'all. 6 yummy fantasy points. Devontae Adams, 4 receptions, 34 yards, 7 points. And you know what? Yeah, he was a dud this week. But again, he's happy. And I don't think this is going to continue. I do think this is where it kind of takes off. Because I think everybody is happy with the Raiders, with what's going on with the Raiders right now. All right. At number 2, 51 rushing yards, 2 reception yards, 2 receptions, 4 8 yards, and a fumble for 5.9 points. That is Mr. Bijan Robinson. Yeah. And at number 1, don't worry, he was pretty much a loser this week. But bro, that's not gonna stand. One thing you can't do against Vic Fangio's defense is throw it to your tight end. Sorry, if you've never known that, you know it now. No tight end has a good game against Vic Fangio. Okay. I think 5th fewest is what they're allowed. Something crazy like that. 3 receptions for 14 yards. Bam, there it is. They still won this game, ironically, right? Because they had to go elsewhere with those passes. And they still went to a tight end, but it was the way they ran the routes. Travis Kelce was trapped all day. Their main target, Travis Kelce, he was not getting those targets or those yards against this defense. So that he got you 4.4 points. But again, stuff like that from Bijan, from Travis Kelce, you ain't got to worry about that lasting every single week. No. All right, so before we get into our heroes, I want to speak about one specific hero. Because I put him, I'm going to read off his points when I get to that stat, but I just want to read off what he has done in this last game. When pieces land in your lap and when you know what you're doing, it just works. You know what I mean? Like, it works. If you don't know by now, CJ Stroud will be Rookie of the Year. He just has built himself an NFL rookie record that I don't think a person is going to pass for a long time. He is completely erasing the name Deshaun Watson from this organization. Now, where I love him, where I love Coach Marions, still don't like this organization and how they sabotage. I don't see that right now, which means there's new order in house. I'm hoping that's what this is because, my God, everything you are seeing from these Houston Texans is real. Granted, should they have lost that game against the Panthers? No. Did they? Yes. Was it something they needed? The boy turned around that next week and had 5 touchdowns, 470 yards, 147.8 rating, 30 for 42, and 0 interceptions while wearing my favorite number 7. Oh, yes, I will be purchasing myself a CJ Stroud jersey. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes. That is past heroism. Okay? That's legendary. This kid had a legendary day. I mean, he was massive. I mean, okay, Coach gonna come out and say what he say, and he gonna come out and tell you where it comes. I came out here and I said in a preseason game, there's 2 things that I noticed in that Texans preseason game against Miami Dolphins. Miami's offensive line, their interior defense is crap. This is why Waddle can't get passes, because by the time Tua has dropped back, they have to get the ball out of his hands as soon as possible so he does not take hits and hit his head on that ground. So by the time he drops back, if Tyreek Hill is not already open, the interior line has already broken down. He has to dump it off to the running back or Berrios. This is why Waddle can't get passes from Tua. It's not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing. It's a breakdown in the interior line that does not allow Tua the time to allow Waddle to hit his cuts and his breaks, because either Hill, by that time, is already open, or the interior line has broken down. He has to get rid of the ball. The other part I noticed was the Texans. They had the ball on the goal line, in the red zone, 15-yard line, and Dameon Pierce couldn't do a doggone thing with it 3 different times. I said, oh, that is ugly. He sucks. And remember, I told you all, I had my trepidations about him from last year because I had him on fantasy last year, And he looked like he should be doing stuff, but he just didn't. It was weird. And it just tells me you're not good. He didn't do anything. And what did we see from Damian Pierce? Nothing. Right? Then I watched Stroud. What did I say? I said, wow, I love his big arm in the open field. They can really get the ball down the field. But then I said, uh-oh. I said, another issue. He overthrows his receivers in the red zone. Big, powerful arm. It was too strong. They fixed it. They fixed it. I said it. If they don't fix it, how are they gonna score? Because he's gonna overthrow. The Texans can't run the ball. That means they're gonna be stuck kicking a lot of field goals. They fixed it. Point blank. The only thing that couldn't fix is the running game. They'll fix that later, and that's fine. Will they get them wins in the playoff? May get them one. They may get hurt later on, like to the point that they lose in round 2. Can the Texans make it? This division is looking pretty exciting, is it not? It's looking really good. I'll say if they can get to second place, maybe they can get the Super Wild Card weekend. But right now, he has not turned the ball over but 2 times this season. He has a lot of touchdowns. He's Rookie of the Year. Hands down, there's not a better rookie than C.J. Stroud right now. What is that? Dog, look, she will find anything to chew on. All right, so before we get to our heroes of the day, let's get to some more of these chats real quick. Let's see here. I like this one right here. He's frustrated with Bijan, so I thought maybe it will work. I'll try. I'll give it a try. Hey. No. All right, so yeah, I mean, I'd be frustrated with Bijan if I draft him. I mean, like, look, I'm so sorry. Maybe you guys didn't catch my show when it first started, so I'm very sorry that you did not get to hear most of what I would have said about Bijan in the beginning of the season, like everybody else did. Because if you drafted Bijan Robinson, you didn't care what I said. You thought you knew better. And here you are. And that's fine. I'm not saying I know everything. I know what I know. I know what I see. I'm a coach. I don't call myself coach just for a title. I coach. I condition. I train. Okay. I motivate. I know how to coach. So I know what I see and I know how to fix. I know how to adjust. And I know when coaches use kids for their abilities and skills and nothing else, because it translates into when they become professional athletes, and you can see it. Not saying that in this sense. I'm just saying in general. But hey, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more frustrating as the season goes on because, again, the offensive line is horrible, and all they're doing, they don't have a quarterback. They can't really throw the ball. They don't really have receivers, so they're going to stack the box. It is what it is. Like, if you didn't see that, that's what I was trying to tell people in the beginning. Like, they don't have anything but him. What is he going to do? He's not going for 1,800 yards by himself. He's not taking them to the playoffs with a 10. He's like, Bijan Robinson is not winning Atlanta Falcons 11 games. You see what I'm saying? So why draft him? Again, you're not winning. You're going to abandon the run. You're going to throw the ball. See? Lucy, I don't even know what that is. You're just chewing on a whole stick. You bored? You need something to chew? Silly butt. Anyway, let's see here. Christian Watson, whole season in a budget. Hey, River, I'm going to say this. You should have been. No, I can't say you should have been. You didn't know. Can't say you should. I'm not even going to do you like that, bro. Next time, now you know you got coach. Now you know where to come before the season starts, before you draft. You should never draft anytime before week 3 of the preseason. And you would know not to draft Christian Watson. Like, trust me, coach goes through every single player, every single position, and I rank everybody. We did over 190 something players, because I ain't going past that, because everybody past that ain't playing. So I went through 190 some players. We move people up each week. We move people down each week. Okay. And Christian Watson was never on nobody's radar, because I told people to take him off, especially when Jalen Reed emerged. I didn't care when Christian Watson came back. Not at all. The only time he was ever relevant was his first game back, and that was just to get him chemistry. That was all that was. It is Reed and Dobbs. And I say that every week. Christian Watson, I don't know why people wanted that. I didn't see nothing in him last year. Kind of like Olave. Yeah. All those, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay. I guess it's story time with Coach for this one. So, long ago, about a year or so, I was doing a podcast, On the Field podcast. No. I was doing my podcast, On the Field podcast. And I was going through the draft that year, the first round. Only did the first round, but basically what I did was I talked about all of the first round draft picks. And what I mean is I pulled them up. I read off the report, their pros, their cons, their height, their weight, their hand measurements. I discussed that player, right? Why they, who they picked up, what was said about him in college, what reports are said about him in general. Okay. No, stop. Oh, she stuck something in her bowl and can't get it out. Oh, well. I'll get it in a minute. So what I do is I read the reports, and what I'll do is I'll give my critique of the reports about that player. Hold on. Be right back. She can't have that in her mouth. No, you can't. Sorry about that. Dog was being a little bit of a nuisance. All right, so they say a lot of things in those reports that you have to read what they say. And when it came to Chris Olave, Christian Watson, and Drake London, I think Drake London had the best report of all three of the receivers. And I didn't like any of their reports. And what I did not like about their reports, do you know? All three of them in their cons, all three of them was their hands, how they catch, how they attack the ball, the way they position their bodies when they, it was a lot of things they would say that I didn't like in their cons. But when you read their pros, you just saw a bunch of wishy-washy words. And I'm like, oh, so y'all just sitting here trying to boast these boys up, knowing they're not good. Like, you could, like, if you're me, you know how to read between those. I don't think a lot of people heard that podcast. Because if they did, they would have known about these three. Because I spoke about them. And because that's how deep and that's the research that I get down to. Because again, one, I'm a wide receiver coach. I'm a coach, but I know wide receivers, and there are certain things I look for. There's certain things I look for reports when people and other people are writing about, and I can find what I'm looking for. I definitely can. It's not hard. So, I want to say it was the AJ Brown year with Metcalf was my first year doing all of it. And those receivers, I actually gave big kudos to. Like, I love the report. Like I said, I do those types of researches. So as it pertains to London, Olave, and Watson, no, they've never been my favorite. And I've spoken, and like I said, out of all of them, London to me was the better. But here's what I hated. That big dude was used in the slot to go down the field and run. Like, again, these kids were used for talents and weren't taught much of anything else. And it shows now as they're professionals in the league who look like really weak wide receivers. Let me see here. CJ and Dale to the moon. Absolutely, every week. Every freaking week. Because they got to deal with Nico Collins. So take Dale as basically the new Deontay Johnson. So I love it. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about was George Pickens. Because here's my thing. I know the coach didn't have he wants players that want the ball. I know you got to talk down the situation. I get it. Here's the thing. If you bought it, be it. If you bought that, be it. Why delete it? Pickens? If you felt that way, why didn't you keep it? Say what you feel. Obviously, it still got out. Obviously, you still had an answer for it. There's no point in deleting it. You said what you had to say. Okay, if you frustrated with your quarterback, be frustrated with your quarterback. What Chase came out and do? Say, I'm open. I'm always open. Say what you have to say. Don't hide. Is what I'm saying. Don't do that. You look weak when you do stuff like that. Let's see. I wanted Gibbs over Bijan and got neither in my main leagues. And here's the problem with trying to get Gibbs. You would have had to have taken Christian McCaffrey you would have had to be within the top 3 picks for that fallback in the 4th round to get Gibbs, or you would have had to jump up for Gibbs, which was never, ever, ever a good idea to do. You take Gibbs at his round or lower if you can steal him lower. But if anybody jumped up in the 3rd round for Gibbs, that was a bad idea. Again, it wasn't until week 8, 7 that he actually popped off. And that's even if this continues. Let's remember that. I got Watson in the 7th. Like, who hitting in the 7th? Well, it wasn't you. Yeah, Coach got singers, baby. Yeah, because you shouldn't have ever drafted him. You got him in what? In the 7th, bro? Oh my God, you could have gotten, bro. You should have just took Tuck in the 7th for that. There was no need for no Christian Watson in the 7th round. That was not necessary. He could have basically just stayed in the waiver wire. Oh man, that dog a handful for sure. Oh yeah, I had to put her behind outside. Now she run around the grass, chasing everything that she could put in her mouth. Good, because she's bringing it in here, and now I got to see and clean up this whole patio when I get done with the show. I'll be doing work. I got homework to do, and I got to clean up sticks and woods that she didn't found out there. But she's so precious. Pickens ain't 7-11. Hey, look. I mean, when things show, they show. Like I said, Jerry Jeudy came out, ran his mouth about Steve Smith. He had every opportunity. Came out, ran his mouth in that game, and looked like a dud. No, you don't get to come out next week and act like you the man. No, that was for that Steve Smith week. You should have said, you should have built something in. You didn't do it. So it don't matter what you do after that. That was supposed to be that week. You ain't nobody. No matter what kind of games you have after the Steve Smith situation, don't matter. That's how I feel. So I'll bring the outside in the he sure is, or she sure is. Let's see. All right, so let's get back to my Instagram notes. Where are we at? All right, so now we are moving into our next segment. That's right. We are going into where you at? We're going into our fantasy heroes. See who saved the day for us. If I can find my banner. There we go. All right, fantasy heroes. Let's see here. There we go. Always like to go to Fantasy Footballer. They have everything I need when I look up these stats. Or not the stats. I like the 5 that they post. Basically the 5 best for the day, and then the 5 best of each position. And some of them are repeated from the 5 best of the day, but those are the ones that basically put up big points. So those are the only ones we really worried about. So to begin. All right, so our fantasy heroes, we start at the bottom. I saw this one creeping. I forgot what game I looked at his stats. I think somebody asked about Rachaad White, and I actually think I told him this. I think I told him that he was okay to pick up. I think it was something within the last 2 weeks of him and Baker Mayfield that I was really liking. And here he is at number 5, 73 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 receptions for 46 yards for a fantasy value of 27.9 points. At number 4, the man who has been eating the last few weeks himself. I mean, literally, the last 4 weeks, he's been doing his thing, but the last 2 have been really good. It has been CeeDee Lamb with 11 catches for 191 yards, 1 fumble, but he has a total fantasy value of 28 points because of the fumble. He could have had 30. Dak Prescott at number 3 for 29 for 44. That's fine. That's fine. One miss extra. I get it. I would have preferred to see 30 for 44, or 32 for 44, but I'll take it. For 374 yards, I will take it with 3 touchdowns, with 14 rushing yards, and no interceptions. He tethering, but he working it. Hey, look, I think he only had 5 or 6, so he's got time, but he's got time. He's got time to not do it, and he's got time to do it. All right, but he had a total fantasy value of 28.4 points. We have Tank Dell, 2 rushing yards, 6 receptions for 114 yards for 2 touchdowns for 29 points. These Texans, boy. And then you got CJ Stroud, Mr. Number 1, the hero of the day, 30 for 42. Dak. For 470 yards, 5 touchdowns, 10 rushing yards, 0 interceptions. Those are your fantasy heroes, all just basically through Sunday. And then we go by position itself. We already did Stroud and Dak at number 1 and 2. So at number 5, we have the God of football, Josh Allen at 26. God of fantasy football, I should say. Not the God of football. God of football is Mahomes himself. He is literally carrying this Chiefs team by the limp of no receivers. But Josh Allen, 26 for 38 for 256 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 44 rushing yards for a touchdown for a fantasy value of 24 points. Mr. Get the Job Done. I don't need a playbook. Just put a jersey on me. Josh Dobbs, 20 for 30. Come on, look here. Look. Real talk. I got to scratch my head, bro. Real talk. Okay. Because I think this is the part that I really need people to understand and pay attention to. I don't care that he only had 158 yards. I don't care. That's his first freaking game. What I care about is this man went 20 for 30. He only missed 10 passes in a game on a team where he barely knew anyone's name. I need people to pay attention to crap like that. I'm not saying this is something he's going to do next week. What I'm telling you is he did it with Carolina. He did it with the Cardinals. Josh Dobbs is no joke. The dude is the real deal, guys. I'm sorry. Josh Dobbs is the real deal. All right, 20 for 30, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, 66 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns. He had 2 fumbles. Out those 2 fumbles, that takes away 4 points. Like this dude is the real deal. Jalen Hurts at number 3, 17 for 23. It's pretty ugly, but they're not a 300 throwing plus team. Those are the numbers that they're looking to do because they run. 35 rushes is what he had. He had a touchdown, and he got you your 3 because he got you 2 passing and your 1 rushing. Like Coach always says, he's always going to get you the 2 for 1. It's either going to be 2 passing and 1 rushing, or 2 rushing, 1 passing. But he's always going to get you 2 for 1. But his yards will never ever be consistently. Honestly, where like C.J. Stroud is, where Dak Prescott is, where Justin Herbert is. Like he's not throwing 300 yards a game. It's not happening. He's throwing 207, 193, 212, 304, 298. Like that's where his numbers are. But they're not bad. They're winning. They're 7-1, or they're 8-1. So those are your top quarterbacks. Now we move into the running backs, and we already discussed Rachaad White at number 1. At number 5, we have Keaton Mitchell for 138 rushing yards and 1 touchdown and 1 reception for -4 yards for 20 points. Keaton Mitchell is good, but he did that off of like 9 carries. Be careful about that. Pick him up. Hopefully that 9 carries turns into like more carries, and because he's not that 9 for 138 is not sustainable. If it's like 15 for 138, okay. Like if he gets another 138 yards and he actually has more carries to get it, but nothing like an overfed 28, something like that, just like at 15, 18, but he can still get that. That's really good, right? But 9 for 138, be careful. That's all I'm saying. Be careful. See more before you get crazy about it. Austin Eckler at number 4, 47 rushing yards for 2 touchdowns and 2 receptions for 23 yards for 21 points. Josh Jacobs had a big game, 98 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns for 21 fantasy points. And Ramondre Stevenson with a big game, 87 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 receptions for 42 yards for 22 points. So those are your running back heroes for week 9. And our receiving heroes, we have already discussed Tank Dell and CeeDee Lamb, but we also have Stephon Diggs for 6 receptions for 86 yards and a touchdown for 22 points. And I'm smiling because when he catching 12, when he catching 11, 10. Nice. And when you get like 112, 130, 125, 115. Now it's 6 for 86. 6 for 86. Getting cold outside, ain't it? 6 for 86, huh? I'm just saying. It once was 12. Now 6 for 86. I'm just saying. I'm mean, bro. Because I don't let nothing go. Amari Cooper, 5 receptions for 139 yards and a touchdown. That's good. 24 points. Good job. At number 3, Noah Brown, 6 receptions for 153 yards and a touchdown. I know a lot of people are asking about Noah Brown. I'm going to say yes. You know why? Because now they have 3. Now they found their third. They found their third receiver going into the back end of the season. That's always a beautiful thing to see. So, yeah, if you're looking for another receiver, yeah, I would grab Noah Brown. Is that sustainable each week? We have to wait and see. If he's literally in the slot, I kind of think so. Maybe not the touchdown, but I can see that 6 for not 151, but I can see 6 for 90 and no touchdown. That still gets you great flex fantasy value. And if he ever gets you a touchdown, that flex fantasy value just really skyrockets. So I like Noah Brown moving forward. Absolutely. They have anything that's not Damian Pierce. I'm liking right now. I'm surprised the Texans in the draft. I mean, not draft, in the trade, by the trade deadline. I'm actually, that's what I'm saying. I didn't like the trades outside of a couple. They weren't really good. And now I'm thinking about it, like, why didn't the Texans trade? They should have traded for a running back. All right, so now we are moving on to tight ends. At all right. At number 5 receptions for 100 yards for 1 touchdown. Jonnu Smith. Bro, look. I'm sorry, guys. It's not for Kyle Pitts. It's not. Sorry. Jake Ferguson, 7 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown for 22 points. Cade Otton. I told everybody to go get Cade. I told you. And if you got him, Cade Otton, 6 receptions, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. He got a fumble, but he mustered you 23 fantasy points. Told everybody to start him. And then if you ask me, Coach, should I pick up Cade? Yes. Coach, should I drop this guy and pick up Cade? Yes. Coach, what about Cade? Yes. 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 I never said no to Cade Otton. I've been saying yes to Cade Otton, I think, for the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna be modest. Not gonna say 3. I'm gonna say I've been telling people about Cade Otton I've been telling them about him for the last 3, but I've been telling you to start. I think the last 2 weeks I've been saying start him. So I just said I think there was 1 week I saw him and I said let's wait and see, but pick him up if you can. Is what I said. If you're looking for a tight end, Cade Otton is what I said. And then after that, it's been start Cade Otton. So number 3, 23 points, Cade Otton. They got all these weapons and can't win because they're sorry-ass Todd Bowles, man. Oh, my God. Number 2, Cole Kmet. 6 receptions, 65 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Yes, I've been telling everybody. I shouldn't have to tell you to start Cole Kmet. You should have been starting him. Like, he is the one safety that the Chicago Bears have, and he ain't going nowhere. They going to find you. Hey, Cole Kmet, Bears going to find you a quarterback, my guy. Don't even worry about it. They going to take care of you. You have been gold to them. I promise you. If there has been nothing more consistent on the Chicago Bears, it's been Cole Kmet. And number 1, not only does this guy throw 5 touchdowns, not only does this guy have Nico Collins, not only does this guy have Noah Brown, not only does this guy have Tank Dell, who have I been telling y'all about since about week 3? Dalton Schultz for the Houston Texans. Ask Mr. John at Maxwell's, who I gave week 3 or 4. But yes, it's been Dalton Schultz, 10 receptions, 130 yards, a touchdown. He fumbled, but he mustered you what? 27 fantasy points. Tight ends took over this week. Sorry it wasn't Kyle Pitts. I keep telling y'all to drop for the last doggone time. Will you just please, if you're an owner, just suck it up, grow a pair of balls, and just drop Kyle Pitts. Take him off your roster. Do you understand? Everybody, okay. You want to play that game? Let's play that game. If you still have Kyle Pitts on your roster right now, most likely you've missed out on Jonnu, you've missed out on Jake, you've missed out on Cade, you've missed out on Cole, and you missed out on Dalton. Period. You've missed out on what's his name? Sam Laporta. Because you thought this is, you keep thinking it's Kyle Pitts. No, it's not. So stop it. Drop it. Take him off your damn roster. All right. Defenses. Ravens at number 5. They had a great game too. 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery, 4 sacks, 3 points against for a total of 15 fantasy points. They didn't score in fan. They didn't score, defensively touchdown. That's fine. Raiders. Told y'all the Raiders was coming, didn't I? Didn't I tell y'all? 2 interceptions, 8 sacks, 6 points against for a total of 18 points. And I told you it was because it was the Giants. That's why I said it was going to be a martyr. I said start the Raiders defense. Browns defense, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, 7 sacks, 0 points allowed for a total of 23 fantasy points. Chargers, wow, 1 touchdown, 3 fumble recoveries, 8 sacks, and 6 points against for a total of 26 fantasy points against the Jets. That one surprised me. And at number 1, who I keep telling y'all boys, no matter what happens, they still a top 5 defense. These Indianapolis Colts. 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 4 sacks, 13 points against, 27 fantasy points. They took over, they ate, they won. Good job for all these defenses, by the way, who had an outstanding week. And last but not least, our favorite position in fantasy football, because it sometimes comes down to a field goal. Mac A, 1 for 1 over 39 and 1 over 50 plus, and 3 extra points for a total of 11 points. Justin Tuck, Mr. Leg himself, 2 for 2 over 39, 1 over 40 for 49, with 4 extra points for a total of 14 fantasy points. Daniel Carlson. Y'all didn't think that the Raiders were going to kick field goals too. Y'all just thought that just because everything was going to work out in this game. Everything. So Daniel Carlson said he wants some. 1 for 1 over 39, 2 for 2, 40 to 49, and 3 extra points for a total of 14 fantasy points. Chase McLaughlin, 1 for 1, 39 yards, 1 for 1 for 40 to 49, and 150, and 4 extra points for a total of 16 fantasy points. And Young Hoku, I keep telling you about this boy from Atlanta. 1 for 1 for 39, 1 for 1 for 40 to 49, and 2 for 2 for 50 plus, and 2 extra points for a total of 19 fantasy points. That was some fantasy heroes for you in week 9, guys. That was amazing. Let's go through these comments once more just to make sure we don't miss anything before we sign off. Let's see here. Rashad White has got to be on there with the Chargers D. Yeah, they both were. Absolutely. Chargers D, number 1 hero of the week. Quit playing. Stop. They got, man, stupid ass Zach. Sorry, that Zach Wilson sucks so bad, man. Oh my God. That's the only thing the Jets were missing is a quarterback. This game was 17-6 because the Jets don't have a quarterback. That's for another day. That was for another day. All right, phone about to be dead. Gotta go, OG. I'll catch you. All right, bro. Thanks, River. I appreciate it, man. I really do. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying. Come back tomorrow. We are here on Thursday. We got new fantasy news updates. We have our fantasy rankings. Basically who is leading in rankings for the top 10 in each position. If we ever get to that, we do try to get to that, but I get caught up in the chats on Wednesdays because we got a lot of start sit questions on Wednesdays, so I do enjoy that. And then we have our start and sits for Thursday Night Football. So tune in tomorrow again at 9 a.m., guys. I will be here bright and early, ready to serve you guys and talk great football. This was I enjoyed you guys blew up the chats today. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. And please join me again tomorrow for another live stream of FFC. This is Coach Coombs. I'm out.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all at the next episode.